Hello, guys. Scream again. This is sorry. I feel sorry. Chanoro tung isinta yoga. Chanoro tung isinta yoga. Kokelu. Ya jo. Chanoro tombe mare no. Pen. Layo ne bi lai ma. In the last quarter. The violence of 2012 was far from one side. Ethnic Rakhine seconds of this period, such as those by Buddhist nationalists King Mong, King Mongso identified the Rakhine as the victims of a massacre at the hundreds of the Muslim community. Rohingya Vision Television regularly reports instances of abuse, discrimination, and violence towards Rohingya by Myanmar's authorities. So Muhammad, of, of course, characterized the Rohingyas' contemporary circumstance in Rakhine State as a green. He recounted how Rohingya were excluded little by little from Myanmar's political mainstreams, saying this entire race, the Rohingya, we used to be a nation. From a nation, they made us into a majority of the country. From a minority, we became a stateless of the country. From a stateless, we became homeless. From homeless, we became the floating people, the people of numbers everywhere. We are going to by boat. We are like the pandas of China. China, we are fading out of the entire world. Muhammad also outlined the Rohingyas' collective loss of official identity documentation. Rohingya used to have national ID card, and it has changed from NRC to white card, which is called a temporary card. From the temporary card, they are now giving them verification process lower than the temporary card itself. He was understandably frustrated by this mistreatment and was firm in his belief there should be no compromise about the Rohingya name. Rohingya ne petebi Rohingya ne piatana po history penede temengo penede le Rohingya yakan penema arkam penema toro chenoro Rohingya ga tainsa sura era ne petebi history penede. However, aspects of the Rohingya Muhammad used in our interview might cause uneasy among those fearing the re-emergence of Rohingya militancy. Why don't we accept as a Burmese Muslim? It's not that we are negotiating Rohingya new word. It has been there for the last consecutive decades for governments have recognized the word from 1948. From independence until 1982, Rohingya was an ethnic minority in Arakan. It is an established fact now. During 1982, when they wrote the citizenship laws From here until today, they are talking about changing the world. We are not ready even to change the spelling of the Rohingya. If they do, if they put the Y before the G, we cannot put that. We are talking about the ownership of the land. That the land is our ancestral land. There is a root every other race has been allowed to have their own title except us. It is not ethically fair. It is not ethically right. It is not morally right. It is not even to international standard. I should keep my own name. Nobody should tell me by force to change my name unless it is my willingness. So we are not willing to discuss the name at all. All under any cost. Chino chinoe audience tuega chino atengo shala sa in comment ma ye pe lai ba no cheju pi pe ma ye pe lai ba because this is that is the name we are going to fight for. There's people who have fought and died for that name. We are dishonoring them. Explaining the motivation for his India Vision television network, Muhammad again used language that might cause unease for some. He said in Saudi Arabia, a lot of people are ready to die for Saudi Arabia, unfortunately, but they are not ready to die for Arkansas. So no, not somebody has to come with a plan. How can we preserve our culture, our nation? If I don't do it, my soul cannot be at rest because we know this is going on. We cannot blindfold. We we cannot sit back if they are pushing hard. We've got to push harder back. We will all die fighting. We need political solution. We need humanitarian solution. We need media solution. So I am totally focusing on the media. Considering the subsequent RSA attacks, Muhammad's choice of language was unfortunately because he had frequently expressed his support from non-violent political approaches. He acknowledged as well that the consequences of Rohingya militancy would be likely devastating for the group. In 2017, he told media picking up arms is like giving the Myanmar military a license to kill us. We cannot achieve anything through violence. We are not going to win a war and being Muslim if we support an insurgency like other Myanmar ethnic groups. Governments will look for links to outside terrorist groups. Muhammad's statement reflected the frustration of the Rohingya whose 2015 difference, difference, difference removed their last direct influence on Myanmar's domestic political process. This the closure of migratory routes of escape for young men combined with the perception that Aung San Suu Kyi and the NLD had abandoned the Rohingya undoubtedly strengthened our hand, making recruitment in northern Rakhine State easier. We are Rakhine? No. We are Burmese? No. Tell me. Rangers to especially bank. The US based Telwin on whom I interviewed in a Bangkok cafe in 2016 has been recognized in the Rohingya community as a historian of the group. He expressed frustration at Myanmar government pressure for the Rohingya to accept the Bengali label, which he had, which he had, which he believed incorrectly. Port, portrait them as a foreigners. His belief about the origin of the Rohingya name was that it was a corruption of the Arabic word Rama, meaning Rahma, mercy, meaning mercy, rather than being derived from the Rohang name as other Rohingya figures indicated, outlining the group's indigeneity. He told me we are there in Arkan in 7th century Telmi, who believed there with this documentary evidence the Rohingya were present in Arkan by the 18th century, a clear reference to Bhushan's work, although he pointed me to an 1815 German publication by John Severin Better, which cited Bushan as evidence for the name Rohingya in 1999. He also directly referenced Bushan's work, saying in 17 something appears Rohingya, but according to 1982 law, they mentioned that before 1823, who settled down in Burma, their ancestors settled down in Burma. Their ancestor would be directly national of Burma. He argued that the evidence meant Rohingya should, according to Myanmar's law, be acknowledged as a Tingita on equal terms with groups like the Burma and Rakhine rather than as a Rakhine subgroup. He asks, we are Rakhine, no, we are Burmese. The claim for the Rohingya to have the same rights and to be treated on equal terms with groups as specifically named in the 1982 citizenship law came with an implied political assertion. A common perception in Myanmar is that ethnic groups named in the law have a right to territorial control of a state, which they will publicly dominate. This means Telwios claim for the Rohingya see that as Myanmar asserting the right to real control. The historical base of Telwios claims has been rejected by the Myanmar's authorities who deny the Rohingyas pre-colonial residency. Telwios was dismissive of the Myanmar authorities as said they, they don't know about their history. Telwios was reluctant to discuss the potential of renewed Rohingya militancy and changed the subject quickly when I raised it. The political action he advocated was peaceful, believing a return of international economic sanction might help the Rohingya cause. He was hes- hesitant to discuss the potential that colonial era migration might have contributed to the Rohingyas population in Arakan. He said they come back to their home, echoing the opinion of Abu Tahir that Muslim arrivals to Arakan in the British colonial period were overwhelmingly returnees displaced by the Burma's 1784 invasion. Reluctance to discuss British colonial era migration was understandable in a context where the Rohingya have been so have origins in the land that forms modern day Bangladesh. Addressing more recent history, Telvin would describe how the Rohingya were already clearly defined ethnic group prior to the Second World War. Already in 1933, the Rohingya people is Rakhine Muslim, and later the Rakhine people say you are not Rakhine, you come from Bangladesh. Then in 2008 they gave the name Bengali. Yes, we accept the Bengali name, we give you equal rights. I want to know why they fight the name Rohingya. Rohingya people, they have their history for centuries and they have the right to claim themselves as a Rohingya people. And actually, Burmese government and Burmese people know that they are Rohingya, but they knowingly deny the name. Telugu like Abu Abdul Rashid Muhammad Nur Islam and Wewenu aside Rohingya situation changed for the worse in the New era when the authorities increasingly restricted the Rohingyas' rights, including by limiting their abilities to a self-identity. When we spoke the Rohingyas' right situation deteriorated, deteriorated much that Telugu believe Myanmar's authorities unquestionably commit genocide. I love my country. I always dreamed that I would go back to Myanmar one day or tomorrow. I am waiting for tomorrow. Our 30 years time. Monchono, president of Burmese Rohingya Association in Thailand, Bangkok. Monchono became politically active as a part of the 1888 18, 88 88 are unprisoned student movement, and more recent was president of Thailand's Burmese Rohingya Association, who spoke in June 2016, by which time Aung San Suu Kyi's NLD administration had been in power for close to 3 months. Like many 80 aftermath of the 88 uprising and lived for years in the Karen Hills and later in Bangkok. Mount Chono did not describe his task as a migration, instead considering his time abroad as exile. I do not like to go further from my country. I love my country. I always dreamed that I would go back to Myanmar one day. And tomorrow I am waiting for tomorrow for over 30 years time. Reflecting his background as an 88 generation activist in Mount Jaunu focused less than others on the Rohingyas group history and more on their contemporary situation and Myanmar's political future. He did not limit his concern about lost rights to the Rohingya, expressing sympathy for others suffering rights abuses by Myanmar's authority. All the Rohingya in Myanmar have the right, whether they are Burma, Karen Kachin or Rohingya, but the Rohingya are in the worst. Monchono was unusual among the Rohingya figures I spoke with because he positioned his political activism firmly within a domestic framework, and like Wewenu, he understood the importance of engagement with people throughout Myanmar. His long-term desire was to make Burma a democratic country within Asian, but he was growing disappointed with Aung San Suu Kyi, although not supporting her, came reluctantly to him. We have a lot of respect for Aung San Suu Kyi, but after she got elected this time, people who elected her blindly for change. After she got power, most of activists don't like her. I am not just talking about Rohingya, so I can't support her. especially as a Rohingya. I can't support her. She is toothless lion. She cannot do anything for Monjonu. The group of course, should of course be entitled to self-identity as a Rohingya. He considered Aung San Suu Kyi 2016 because to avoiding using the Bengali to have been a win of sorts, yet he believed alternative names for the Rohingya that emphasize their religious compilation, like Rakhine Muslim, would be unhelpful. He said, I am very happy. This is one kind of success. Muslim is not an ethnic name. Muslim cannot be an ethnic name. This is cannot be an ethnic name. Putting another name to us is not acceptable. We do not like this sort of thing. Bengali is not our name. Imposing a lot of names on us is not acceptable. Monchono said he wanted to remind Aung San Suu Kyi about the numerous activists, including Rohingya, who helped her on her political. Thank you so much for watching my lives, and thank you also for supporting me always here. Now I'm going to cut my live now. So see you. Bye bye. Thank you.